Weyne and Simon, you were making your way towards the mining catwalk in which you saw 3 people leaving from when the entire facility goes pitch black. Even the lights out monitoring the rock, you see those drones that were flying around drop out of the air and just plummet to the ground and crash. And really can't see anything at the moment. There are no lights. Alexis, the same thing happens to you. Everything goes pitch black.
That figure's still in front of me, right?
It's impossible to see. Like everything.
But it was when the lights went out, right? Jesus, hate that.
And then you hear the whir of a backup generator, and you hear sort of like the pops and the plinks of lights. It's like a ding, 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 bing, bing. And a red light fills the facility for a second. And Alexis, in front of you, there's nothing. There's no plant mass, there's no person, there's no blood, there's no rock. You are alone in this hallway.
I can't tell if that makes me happier or less happy, but yeah.
And Weyne and Simon, when the lights turn back on, you are standing in Wayne's doorway.
What? Didn't we start running, Weyne?
I don't know. I take another swing. Probably.
Over the intercom of the system, you hear the voice of Commander Sadu. This is to all personnel. We are currently experiencing a electrical malfunction. We are currently operating on backup generators. Please stay within your quarters while we sort this out to limit any accidents or personnel injuries. We have engineers on site repairing the issue, but at this moment, please stay where you are, and if there is any further trouble, report it to the nearest security officer.
We have to go. We just have to go, Wayne. They're going to get away. We don't know what they have, right? Or do we go to the captain? What do you think we should do?
I guess go to the boss.
Okay. I'm going to take a moment to look out that window again and just...
It's hard to see because there's nothing there. Like, the emergency lights are pretty sparse outside, and with the way that the lighting is in here, there's almost like a red glow that makes it hard to look out the window. But you don't...
And that meteor is massive. We're talking a city block massive,
yeah,
right?
It's several kilometers in diameter, yeah. And you don't... I will say right now, you don't see those figures. Those figures are gone.
Okay, let's go to the commander. There's someone I want to talk to.
Lead the way.
We know one person who was pissed about the mining operation stopping, and who knows that meteor better than anyone else. I'd be shocked if the foreman is 100% ignorant to what happened tonight.
Okay. Is it you're heading to Commander Sadu?
Yeah.
Alexis, what is your plan?
I was on my way to the commander, so I think once things have cleared up and there's no figures, holster that hammer and make my way to the commander as well.
Okay, cool. Then the 3 of you sort of reconvene at the junction that leads to the commander's quarters. What would you like to do?
I knocked 12 times.
1 is enough. 1 will suffice.
Yeah, the commander answers within before you finish your knock routine, the door opens up and he looks at the 3 of you and he says, "Officers, I asked you specifically to stay within your quarters. What are you doing here?"
There was a robbery at the meteorite. There's freaky stuff going on. A wrench appeared. We're being affected by some kind of horror or the meteorite itself. And, yeah.
Okay.
3 figures were in the meteorite and came out.
He sort of takes a glance out into the hallway and says, "Come in. We were going to do this morning, but I guess right now is the time that we'll have a mission briefing. Get in here." And as you go in, he closes the door behind you and he gestures to a small seating area and he says, "Have a seat." The meteor, as I have mentioned, is a great concern of me, and I'm not too sure how to proceed. However, I, as I said, think suspending the mining operations is the safest thing to do right now. However, there has been some theft. Mining equipment has been stolen. Some agriculture supplies have been stolen. Things throughout the crater have been stolen. That is, for the 2.5 years that we have existed, nothing has ever been stolen. Not a personal belonging, not utilities, not gear, nothing. So for it to happen now is suspicious. I was going to ask the 3 of you to investigate this while we had some downtime as your automata got repaired. But now it looks like the investigation is a little bit more urgent. Are you willing to look into this for me? And I need you to keep it discreet.
Of course, sir.
Tensions are already very high with the workers not being able to work. They're getting idle. And when people get idle, they get tense and stressed. And when people get stressed, they make mistakes. They get angry, they get violent. I need to make sure that does not happen. If you guys are looking around and starting to point fingers, we could have a full-scale riot on our hands. We have enough to deal with outside of these walls. I don't want to fight inside them.
Funny. On that note, there was definitely a man with a wrench that appeared in his chest that a bunch of people saw, and he just went to the medical bay, so that a bunch of people there probably saw it, and I promise you it makes no sense. So just a heads up.
Dr. Juarez has informed me of the situation, yes.
That would freak me out. Well, it did freak me out. I was there.
Do I know what it looks like, what they removed from the meteor?
Yeah, for sure.
Is
you
it
know that
that
it's
green rock that I just saw lodged in a fucking horrible thing's head?
Yep. That's one of the things that they've been taking out.
It's kryptonite.
There's a bunch of stuff. There's metals, there's minerals, and there's this sort of like green rock that makes up the majority of the rock. That's sort of like their disposal. It's the stuff around it. That's the interior of the rock, what they are stripping away to get to the metals and the materials, or the minerals.
And the metal was what the prototype's made out of, right?
Correct.
Yeah. Commander, permission to, well, yeah, fuck it, we're speaking, aren't we? I saw a thing, a vision, I guess, and I think it might be what Simon said. Was your weird mouth growth like cauliflower or something, Simon?
Mine?
You said you saw a weird thing on your face?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, was mine a weird cauliflower growth?
It certainly wasn't cauliflower, but it was, now that like that has been put in your head, you get the feeling that it was plant-ish. It seemed like organic in nature, yeah.
Yeah, it seemed organic.
I wouldn't be bringing this up, but it's obviously not hallucination or anything, because me and him are having the same one. I saw a thing with one of those green rocks that we strip out of the comet, and it smashed its own fucking head in until it lodged, and then it said, "Will I help it till the garden?" And it pulled some plants out of its fucking mouth. So something's going on, not just wrenches.
Did anyone choose Plant Monster for the egg theory? Did anyone have money on Plant Monster?
Yeah, there's a few.
He looks at you, Weyne, and he says, "And you, Dow? Did you see any of this?"
I saw some guys up on the catwalk, but I am not entirely sober, so could be anything. But I kind of point toward Simon. But I trust Simon. Simon says, am I right? And I like hold up the bottle to cheers nobody.
Sandu sort of nods and says, "Okay, well, I don't want you running around in the dark chasing mysterious figures. I think we wait until day, or at the very least, we wait until the power is back on. Then you can start your investigation. Most of the people you're going to want to talk to have probably already retired for the evening anyway, and you'll have far more luck when they are on shift than bothering them during a low emergency. So try to get some rest, and in the morning, begin your investigation. I will send you a brief of some folks that I've been thinking might be useful in the investigation."
Just before we head off, this theft, was it pre or post mining stoppage?
It was happened about a week ago. We noticed some discrepancies, and then it became very obvious that it was not a mistake and theft.
Have we checked to see if there are any additional tunnels being made?
The mining operation is incredibly well documented. It would be very difficult to mine around the crater without us knowing. We do regular seismic scans, and that we can pierce the crater. It doesn't get through the rock, but the crater is well observed. Drones are on 24/7. I know we're currently having a brief security gap at the moment, but if someone were digging within the crater or within the rock, we would know about it. I can assure you that.
Well, that's good news.
Does anyone else have any questions?
No, sir.
Then go get some rest, sober up,
Sweet dreams, sir. I leave.
No, sorry about that, sir.
As Weyne leaves, he kind of mutters under his breath, "Should have just kept digging."
The night comes and goes. By the time you're heading back to your bunks, dawn is already starting to break. You can see the early pastels of the morning beginning to crest up and over the horizon. Weyne, when you get into your bunk, there is a weird moment when you walk through the door. It feels like you did it twice, almost like a stutter or a lag. Just for a brief second, it felt like you had already done it, and then you're walking through it again, and it's jarring.
His immediate first thought, he would just shake his head and look at the booze in his hand and just be like, "Oh, I gotta stop drinking so much."
You guys get a little bit of rest. The next day, you get a message on your terminals of the list of people that Commander Sindhu thinks that might be useful in your investigation. Those people are, you've already met him, Cedric Robbins, the quartermaster, Neve Mahoney, who's the person who first originally noted the theft, the foreman, Omar Williams, who is the person in charge of the mining operation, and the head of security, Cicely Branch.
And I'm putting down my boy Jenkins.
Yes, and Jenkins, the soldier I made up immediately on the spot.
Oh yeah, I'll keep going back to him. He's involved now.
First name, Leroy.
Yeah. First time there's a combat, he's running in head first, saving the day. All right. I will say that you guys are together unless you want to do something solo, and you guys can figure out where you'd like to start with this investigation.
There is one thing I would like to do.
Okay.
And that is go to Jenkins and just double check with the bunk count I asked him to do last night if there was anyone not where they were supposed to be.
Yeah. He gives you a list of 3 names. Declan Reeves, Amelia LeBlanc, and Lily Wu.
Thanks, Jenkins.
Those 3 people seem to not be in their bunk. But this bunk count was done before the emergency lockdown.
Yep.
So they might have a reason that they weren't there.
Yep. That's okay. That's still names to go on. Thanks, Jenkins.
Has anyone seen them since?
Jenkins says, I don't know, man. There's a lot of people in the crater. I can't keep track of anyone, but
names are all we need. Thanks, Jenkins.
You're welcome. And he goes running off.
Okay, what do you think we should do, Alexis?
We follow up with your mate, maybe. See what was going on. You know what? Fuck it. Security. Check them. See if they've got anything from last night. See if they know where any of those 3 were. See if they know anything about who stole the shit. Maybe we just look at some fucking CCTV and we're fine, right?
So we'll start with Cicely. We'll go to the security quarters.
Oh, yeah. Occam's razor, mate. Simplest answer first.
Wow, it's such a good idea.
Yeah, great. You head over to the head of security office of Sergeant Cicely Branch. She is a large woman, built as shit. She's like bigger than Alexis in terms of like just stature. She's got a shaved head. She's got a nose piercing. She's covered in tattoos, and she is sitting at a desk. In front of her is a massive wall of terminals and monitors and screens, and she seems to be going through the footage of last night, and everything looks fine. All of the footage, there's not like the backup generator isn't even on in any of the footage. It's all like regular lights.
Oh, that's Cicely?
Did someone loop the footage?
Cicely turns around and she spins around in her chair. She's got a big fucking like almost like a big gulp sized mug of coffee, like it's huge. And she takes a long sip of it, and then she says, I'm not crazy, right? Like last night we were in lockdown. Last night there was emergency lights. We're on a backup generator.
Yep.
Yeah.
No, that never. Yeah, of course it fucking happened. Yeah, me too.
Okay,
I'm
great.
Starting to doubt myself.
Then explain this. And she turns around. She like makes one of the screens, like the full screen, and she says, "That's outside my quarter. Last night I opened my door and I looked out to make sure everything was okay. Made sure no one was hurt. And this is it." And she scrubs through the whole footage, and the entire night the door doesn't open, the lights never go out. And she says, I've checked. Footage isn't looped. Nothing has interacted with the cameras or the feed. This is a real-time feed, and I will show you. And she clicks a radio and she says, can you do another walk by, please? And you see a soldier walk by in front of the door, turn. She says, hold up 3. The guy holds up 3 fingers. She says, thank you. And he continues walking.
Well, I guess we're not going to get our answers from the CCTV, boys, are we?
Well, there was that wrench incident. The cameras did go out then too, so...
She says, yeah, Juarez told me about that. Sandu told me about that. I looked into it. And once again, she pulls up the footage and like the guy puts the wrench down. There's like a split second, like, and then it's like in his chest and everyone's freaking out.
Is this the only hub for footage? Like, is there another server somewhere where someone could have access to?
Nope. Everything is localized here. Again, specifically for that reason. I know that the footage was not tampered with.
Mind if we have a look? Sorry, just can you do a little drive-by on what I did last night? A little drive-by on Simon and Weyne, just because we saw some shit.
Yeah, see if I walked into my quarters twice.
So she pulls up the footage. Alexis, you're standing out in the hallway with your hammer, alone. Lights fully on, but you're just standing there. You don't say anything. You don't do anything. It almost looks like you're sleepwalking. Weyne and Simon, you're just standing at the doorway. You're talking, but you never leave.
All right, well, that's an answer, I guess. Whatever happened, it's not a looped video, it's not whatever. It's for you two, a fucking shared hallucination. For me, some kind of mental fuckery.
Yeah, but the power outage wasn't a
Maybe it's
hallucination.
our brains that are fucking looped.
Yeah.
It's a shared hallucination, right? The power outage was just everyone.
Yeah.
In our experience, like interacting with horrors and stuff, do we ever experience like mind fuckery or weird sensations like that?
So there is horror toxicosis.
Okay.
This is not it. You are attuned to that. You know what that feels like.
Gotcha.
It is a sinking feeling. It is nausea. You feel it. You haven't felt any of that. This is a completely new, you don't know when this is happening, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. Like when toxicosis, when a horror is nearby, like you're fully aware of what's happening. You know what's happening. You know what it is. And it's like a full realization. This, like, it feels like you're experiencing like two different things here. You guys remember leaving to walk to the catwalk and then like stuttering back to the door. Alexis, you remember talking to that person. You remember seeing it. Like that all happened. But for whatever reason in these cameras, what's being shown, it didn't happen.
So Dane, just for some clarity, there are two big bads sort of in the world. Do we have any experience with seraphs at all? Or is that not something we deal with as commonly?
The three of you have never met a seraph, no. Seraphs are in this
like
world
super rare, right?
They are the sort of like divine arbiters of the architect. The architect is the big bad, is the person who showed up and fucked up humanity and delivered the horrors. The seraphs are sort of like his lawmen, his harbingers. So no, you have not seen a seraph or dealt with a seraph.
And there's not any real info on how they operate or what they can and can't do.
There's like little reports here and there. A few people have encountered. The big thing that everyone knows about seraphs are two things. One, they are almost always accompanied by the orchestral sounds of blaring trumpets and swelling strings, and that is a thing that is known about them. Also, it is known that they emit a special kind of radiation that essentially undoes the very fiber of a person's ego. Like it just strips you of your you-ness. And those are like the two things that everyone knows about seraphs, or like what people who are in your position knows about seraphs.
Okay, so obviously there's freaky stuff going on. One more question for you, Cicely. Can you bring up 3 personnel files for me?
Yeah, for sure.
Declan Reeves, Amelia LeBlanc, and Lily. Was it Lou?
Woo?
Woo.
Lily
Yeah.
Woo.
Lily Woo?
She, with like crazy fast typing, dexterous hands, she pulls up the 3 profiles. All 3 of them are minors. And I mean that in the sense that they are people who mine and not underage.
I've been fighting to not make those jokes since last episode.
Yeah. I thought you meant children.
Because you're like, he's been a minor since before the thing. Or it's like, what, is he 17?
Yeah, hey man, the children yearn for the mines. It's what they say.
They do. Wait. We never checked. Do they have square heads and pickaxes?
Yeah.
You figured it out. The seraphs are just Minecraft characters.
Cracked it.
Yeah, my big bad is a creeper. You just hear in the background.
Yeah, it wasn't our walkies not working. It was just a creeper.
Sound like creeper. Okay. Do you know where we can find those 3 today, with the mine being closed and all?
I mean, my guess would be the mess hall or their quarters. I can give you their bunk numbers, but a lot of the miners have just kind of been hanging around the mess hall. I will say, as officers, you're not going to get a positive reaction. They're not exactly big fans of the, sort of the authority situation around here right now.
That's okay. We don't need them to be their friends. Alexis has a big hammer.
Yeah, I'm not going to smack him.
Yeah, Cicely kind of looks at you and just says, I'm the head of security, right? If you guys start a brawl with the miners, just because you can fucking pilot an automata doesn't mean you get away with murder.
We're not going to kill him. Also, we're all going to die if we don't do something about what's going on right now.
That was a turn of phrase.
Simon reads too many books. We'll have a chat at best. But let's be fair. Everyone loves me, so we'll be all right. Have we seen what they did last night? Because they were absent.
She says, we don't track individual people unless we're worried about them.
What I'm saying is, can we scan those? There's live feeds pretty much everywhere, right? Scan the bunks, see when they left, see when they got back, if it can get weird.
Yeah, I can do that. It might take some time, but I can certainly see if I can find them amongst the crowd, if you would like. She pulls up sort of like the feeds to each one of their bunks and does like a quick scrub, and you see that like no one goes in or out the whole night.
Yeah, they're probably still missing.
Well, yeah, we'll need to figure that out.
Yeah.
You two, you said you saw 3 figures on the catwalk, right? What were they? Did it look like a Declan, an Amelia, and a Lily?
Maybe.
Yeah, I think with that much whiskey, everything looks like a Declan, an Amelia, and a Lily.
Wayne, you've got to share a drink with me later because you've got the good shit.
Simon, you're a bright kid. I think you got a good idea yesterday about the foreman, Omar.
Yeah, the foreman. Yeah.
Where's he?
No
been
one knew
at?
that. Yeah, we need to get a map of the mine from him either way. So when we do go in, we can see what has changed. But yeah, he's the one who has lost the most and has been in there the most. So if there's something in there of value, he could be the one who figures it out and wants to get it. B, if there's something affecting people coming from the meteorite, he's been in there, I would say, a lot. So he's a high option for being affected, controlled, manipulated. I don't know. And once again, I don't know if this is the meteorite that's doing any of this. So I would like to speak to him first, because we can't go into the meteorite without his knowledge anyway. And probably not without our robots. But
yeah, let's maybe try to stay out of the big meteorite. There's no people in there to talk to, and we got to talk to people, all right?
We don't know that yet. Once again, there could still be a giant chicken, like I said.
Once again, too many books. It'll rot your brain.
Okay, so you're heading to
Omar
Foreman Williams. Yeah, okay. The foreman's office is not fancy. It's not big. It's a small rectangular sort of like offshoot built sort of, it looks like after the fact of the crater. It's kind of just suspended out into the crater. There's the walkway that leads out to the meteor, and then there's just sort of like his office that's just kind of like dangling out there, attached with a few cables and then like supported with a couple struts out from the main building. And you can see that he is currently in there. He's got his feet up on the desk, and he seems to be reading some sort of big like fold out like diagram thing.
Let's go ahead.
Now, Simon, I'll let you go learn to lead sometime. Go on. It's your idea and all that. I'm not going to steal. I'm not going to steal your thunder. I've got enough medals. Come on.
Okay. All right. I knocked 12 times.
I just look at Wayne.
You hear from behind the door, like, okay, come on. Just fuck. God damn it. Yeah, get in here.
Mr. Williams?
Yeah.
Wayne, Alexis.
He knows who I am.
Yeah, of course. It's Simon.
Great. Thank you for this thrilling introduction. Can I help you with anything? Or did you just come in to say hi?
We are here investigating, under the commander's direction, just the thefts from earlier this month. And,
You accusing me of being a thief?
No, no, sir, not at all. We have a couple suspects who worked underneath you that we just want to ask some questions about.
You're calling my people thieves.
I'm staring at Wayne with regret in my eyes.
Can I roll manipulate here, Dane?
Yes.
Awfully defensive.
That's 3 successes.
It's an opposed roll, I believe. I think we both roll manipulate,
Sure, yeah.
if I remember correctly.
I think you're right.
He got 2 successes.
All right, so he cancels out 2 of mine, but I have 1 more.
How do you manipulate him? What do you say?
No, sir. I'm not accusing anyone of anything. Last night, during the power outage, to be honest, just between the 4 people in this room, there was some activity down at the meteorite.
He folds what he was reading. It looked like it was like an instruction manual for a piece of machinery, and he folds it incorrectly, so it still sits pretty fat on his desk. And he stands up and he says, "Are you telling me last night there was someone in the rock?"
Yes, sir. And they were, thanks to Wayne's eagle eyes, they were carrying the alleged missing equipment.
Do you understand that if what you're saying is right?
What I'm saying is right, sir.
Okay. Well, let's work hypothetically here first,
Sure.
so that you understand what you're saying. First, you're saying that I don't have control of my site. Second, you're saying that there are 3 people under my control who are going against the direct order of a commander. And third, you're saying that there are people who are stealing things and running away with them? They're sure as hell not selling them. What's the plan here? What do they gain from doing this? What do you...
Well, sir, I'm not here because I don't think you're not in control of your site. I'm here because you are in control of your site. And that when we continue this investigation, I need someone with as much experience and intellect as you to notice any single thing that could be out of place. If we thought you were inept, we would not have come here. We are here because you're the expert at this. And we're not here because 3 people under you were under command. We're here because those 3 people have probably been conniving and planning this in secret this whole time. And you've explained things so thoroughly to them, they probably had an idea of what to do because they were trained so well.
Do you know who these 3 are?
Once again, sir, we have not linked them directly to this, so I'm not accusing these 3 of anything right now. All we know is that last night there was an incident where we did a bunk count for safety reasons. During that bunk count, we noticed 3 people missing, and then shortly after that bunk count, the power went out, and then we spotted the individuals. So those names, a Declan, an Amelia, and a Lily.
God damn it. He grabs a sort of like trinket that's on his desk and just fucking like tosses it against the wall. He says, "Those fucking idiots. Yeah, they were very adamant. When I told them that we were shutting down the operation temporarily, they got very upset. They were the ones who really pushed. And look, I agree with them. I think that they are right. We need to strip mine this thing and get the fuck away from it. I think taking our time is the most dangerous thing about this thing. I think the longer we stay here, the more we become sitting ducks. I don't think getting closer to the core, as Sandu thinks, is the cause. I think just being here is the cause. So I say we blow this fucker up. I say we strip everything we can out of it, and I say we leave this place. There's no reason to stay here. If we can just get what we need and go." The 3 that you just listed shared my sentiments. Perhaps I was a little more persuasive than I thought when I was talking. I was drunk. We had a couple drinks. I'm an influential man.
Of course you are. It's obvious.
It's a tough burden.
So maybe they took it to heart.
You know, we just want to track these 3 down, see what was stolen, if anything, and eventually we might have to go into if we can't track them down today, we might have to go into the mine to see what may have happened there. So if we do, I was hoping that you could give Alexis here a map of the current layout and any current projects.
I can do that right now.
Thank you.
He pushes open a screen on his desk, taps a couple buttons, and like sort of a 3D replica of a hologram of the rock appears. He says, "This is the outward scan. Here are the mined tunnels, and I will do a live ping right now to see if anything has changed." And he presses a button, and you see like a little sonar beep, like a boom, 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 and nothing has changed within the meteor in terms of like mined tunnels. Nothing has been added or changed since the last time they did the scan when operations stopped.
Well, good news. Thank you. I upload it onto my chip.
Really appreciate it, Mr. Williams. You run a really tight ship, and I promise you this will not come out to look bad at you in any way. This is clearly 3 fanatics who took advantage of a situation. You're doing a lot for humanity here. It's very impressive.
All right, if you're going to just keep kissing my ass, that's fine. But if you got nothing else to do, I would like you to leave my office.
Yes, sir.
Have a good one.
You nod.
Can I roll an observation before we leave?
Sure. Yeah, if there's anything you guys want to do on your way out or like during that conversation, let me know and we can make it happen.
Alexis is good. She's out of her depth with social stuff as much as she tries not to be.
Yeah, I don't roll a success, so I don't see anything.
I know.
Okay.
As we leave, I nudge Simon. I was like, "Yeah, it was pretty good, kid. I think you think better than you shoot sometimes."
Oh, that's not even sometimes. That's all the time.
It is all the time.
Yeah.
I slap him on the back again. He's probably got a bruise from just constant blunt force trauma.
Well, we gotta work on that.
Okay, so obviously these 3 are obvious that they are probably the 3 that we saw last night. But things we don't know. Why? The thing that I don't like is that when he talked about them, he talked about that sort of fanatic-like desire to go in there. And with all the wonky stuff going on, I just, there's always that thing in the back of my head that they're being influenced by something, but there's no evidence of that. We haven't come across many things in the new world that we live in that can use that kind of power. So I think you're right. It's from my books more so than anything else, but I don't know.
Well, speaking of wonky stuff, you said your man who got the wrench through his chest survived, eh?
Yeah.
Maybe we see if he's awake, because I would fucking love to know what happened.
Yeah.
I don't think he put it there.
No, and he was obsessed with it. Like when it was in his chest, he kept on trying to reach for it. So I don't know. He might still be sedated, but we can definitely check very quickly before we go to the armory or whatever. What is it called? The armory? What is it?
It's like a storeroom. There's a quartermaster there. Yeah, it's got a bunch of names depending on like what you're going there for. Like some people call it the armory, some people call it the utility closet, other people call it the storeroom. So it's like it really depends like what you do.
Yeah, I'm assuming when we get there, we'll find evidence of these 3 people have being there or asking questions or something like that. But anyway, let's go check on Mr. Wrench, and then we can head there.
Great. You know that the person who oversees the medical facilities is a doctor by the name of Reggie Juarez. He is a surprisingly young man. In his sort of like mid-30s, but a incredibly talented doctor and an incredibly smart man. He earned his place on the crater almost immediately, as you imagine, building a facility around a like constantly shifting sand dune led to a bunch of injuries. Mining is also a dangerous business. So he's done a very good job at like keeping people safe and healthy and dealing with the injuries as they come up. As you walk in, however, you see a very tired Dr. Juarez as the man is sitting in sort of like an incubation chamber, clearly still sedated, stable, but sedated, as Juarez sort of like has his hands in his head and he's like going through scans on the table in front of him.
Alexis doesn't go in. She waits outside.
Okay, I'll go in.
Yeah, Weyne will go in too.
Mr. Juarez is the one who Mr. Juarez is one of the people who taught me first aid, so I should thank him for helping me save that man's life last night. I knocked 12 times.
Juarez is just like, you don't have to knock. It's a public facility. Get in.
It's rude to not knock.
He looks up and he just says, Dow? Another scorch burn injury?
Not this time, but who knows?
Okay. Well, what can I do for the 2 of you?
We're just checking on our friend. I sort of point to the man with the wrench in his chest.
Well, good news. He's stable and alive, thanks to you, I heard, Simon, so thank you. However, I have no idea how it's there, and even more so, I have no idea how to get it out, because it is fused with bone, tissue, muscle. It's like that wrench is a part of him.
Do you mind if I ask a weird question?
It's very rare that in the medical field a question isn't weird, so go ahead.
Was there any strange organic matter on the man, under his fingernails or in his mouth or around the wound?
He looks at you and he says, it is strange that you know that, yeah, there seems to be an infection around the wound. And he pulls up a picture of it. And you can see that around the wound, there is a porous, bubbled, plant-like matter growing around it. Yeah.
Okay. Have you been able to do any tests on that yet?
I have. It's not good. He puts a slide in front of you and moves a sort of like a wall-mounted microscope kind of situation. He like pulls it down from the ceiling and slides it in front of the two of you and gestures. And he says, "Take a look, and I'll explain what you're seeing." Who's looking through?
I think I just give it to Wayne, but I'm like underneath, like looking
Yeah,
very close to it.
You actually notice Wayne is actually quite like interested and transfixed by this wrench in the stomach or wrench in the chest situation.
So are you looking through the notes? Or you're just staring at the man's chest.
Both.
Okay. Yeah, Wayne's like holding it, and I'm just like actually reading it while he's like looking somewhere else. I didn't want to be the one holding it.
Alexis has stepped like you can't see her from the door, like from inside.
Juarez says, there are a number of things that are important to look at here. First, the blood shows signs of horror toxicosis, which doesn't make any sense.
No.
Because none of the other people in that hangar have signs of it. This man hasn't left the hangar. There's no reason why that should be a thing.
Is that contagious, horror?
It's not. No, it is only by exposure to a horror that you can get it. Second, the plant matter that is growing from the wound, the infection, it seems to have properties of psilocybin. If you're unfamiliar with that, it is, you might know it as magic mushrooms.
Doing drugs on camp again.
It seems that whatever this growth is has psychedelic effects.
Okay. I'm going to make a recommendation right away, Dr. Juarez, and that is to quarantine that man.
Way ahead of you. You look over and you see that incubation tube is like an airtight sealed.
Airtight seal, cool.
Yeah, yeah. He's already quarantined this dude, for sure.
Do you have anything that can counteract the effects? Anything that can sober us up quickly or like purify our blood or something if we do get infected? I've got a feeling we were seeing some things last night. So this might not just be a one-time incident between the four of us.
If you would like, I can do blood work on those of you who are on the mission, just to be safe. Unfortunately, the psychedelic effects are just a byproduct of the growth. The only way to really get through it is to ride it out. I can give you some adrenaline shots, which will sort of help kickstart that process. There is the likelihood that you could potentially be knocked out of a bad trip, for the sake of a better word. But it seems like, from what I can tell right now, this growth requires a host and wouldn't be contagious unless someone were to touch it and spread it into an open wound. Hopefully, no one has done that. But thankfully, because of your quick thinking, if he had pulled this out, blood splatter, any organic material, if anything like that happened, we could be dealing with a full fungal infection.
Yeah, I would very much like to be tested just in case.
Yeah, sure. He's happy to take some blood from you, Wayne, if you would like that as well.
Yeah.
Alexis, I know you're hanging outside and listening, so if you would also like to be tested, you're more than welcome to come and do it. They'll run the test.
Get tested, folks.
That's true. Is anyone calling Alexis in?
Alexis, we're getting tested if you'd like to.
You kind of like hear, and she comes around the corner. Yeah, it's probably fine. One of you guys get tested and then we'll see.
Okay, that's a good idea.
And she doesn't look at Juarez and kind of like steps aside again.
All right, great. So who's getting tested?
They're going to do a talk screen on Wayne and see what turns up.
Yeah. It's going to be a lot of booze and drugs in there probably.
Simon, are you also getting tested?
Yes, yeah, for sure. Simon takes his own blood out. He's already drawing it before he even asks.
It's a pretty quick process. It's a very easy process. Within like 10 minutes, you are both cleared of either this sort of like mushroom psychedelic effect and cleared of horror toxicosis. You seem to be fine.
Okay.
Yeah, after we get the results, I kind of want to pull Simon and Alexis aside, and I'm just kind of shaking my head, and like, it just doesn't make sense. Stealing things is one thing. We can take care of that, no problem, but there's infections and stuff, that means there's horrors about. You kind of see his fists clench a little bit. If there's horrors about, you gotta get rid of them.
Yeah, well, there was something fucked going on last night, and I don't like the fact that we're talking about plants and infections, and there was that fucked up thing smashing its own fucking skull in
Weird
last night.
brain loops. It all just doesn't make sense. This isn't just some simple robbery.
You two are clear on the talk shit, right?
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Good.
I'm worried. You know, we're used to things like the giant centipede. You know, like those are the horrors that keep us up at night. You know, that's what have been parading across the globe since the day Judgment. It's so the fact that there's maybe a new type, something that's, you know, infectious, or like it could mean a lot. If there's a couple things like this, imagine if this was in a major city.
You know, it was in a major city, that giant fucking meteor that crashed down. You know what happened in other major cities?
Yeah.
People turned into beams of light and fucking nukes bouncing off them. We dealt with it then, we'll deal with this now, all right?
Well, Alexis, to be blunt, what dealing with this could be is we might need Weyne here to go full atomic, and we might have to erase this whole crater and everyone in it, because this can't get out.
What do you mean by nukes bouncing off him? I kind of look at Alexis.
Oh, okay, this again. I'm sorry, but can you come up with a better term for it?
Can we just talk about the potential of us having to kill everyone in this crater to stop a global infection if this is what we think it is? Who cares about the nukes?
Something Weyne would actually be good at, wouldn't he?
You see, his fist clenched even harder, and he just kind of scoffs and turns away and doesn't want to engage with that.
So let's hope it doesn't come to that.
It won't. And you better keep your voice down, because we're the ones keeping people happy here, all right? If they hear you talking shit like that,
I'm very.
we may as well have Weyne blow them up.
I only talk to you and Weyne.
Keep it that
Hey,
way.
listen,
all right?
kids, you better be prepared for it to come to that. Because it might. You kids that ain't seen shit. You kids ain't seen the horrors that I've seen.
Yeah, we've just seen the actual horrors.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay, what should we do next, Alexis?
Get the fuck away from the med tent. It's fucking waste of time.
Well, I don't know about that. Dr. Juarez is really nice. He taught me first aid.
Meh, not his biggest fan. Where next, man? You're on a roll, Simon.
Well, we should at least check in with the quartermaster. I don't think we can gain too much from it, but we have nowhere else to go
Fuck
besides
it.
the rock at this point, or checking with the commander. So I say let's just cover our bases. We might learn something new.
Yeah. Now, Dane, do we know, like, because there's always, like, drug use on army bases to certain degrees, and I know in conventional military, it's like they turn a blind eye to weed because people aren't getting in fistfights and killing people with weed, but they're pretty strict on alcohol. Is that kind of what it's like in this military base, or is there even a drug framework available anymore?
It's kind of like as long as you can handle your shit, you're fine. It's kind of like a person to person basis. So as long as you can handle your shit, you are fine. If you get too high and do something fucking stupid, you're more likely to get thrown out to the waste than the substance should be banned. Because it's like whatever keeps people happy and going, they're okay with. If you can't keep your shit together, it's on you to either get it together or figure your own way out.
Is there a person we would know as, like, the dealer?
Yeah, probably. What are you looking to investigate here? Like, what are you looking for?
I'm just wondering if, like, it's probably not the case considering it's localized around the wound, but I'm wondering if maybe people have taken something in the local environs that they found that would be some kind of a drug, and that's kind of part of it.
I will say you will know that organic drugs are hard. It's almost all chemical now.
Okay.
Because of just the nature of, like, growing stuff. So, like, mushrooms, weed, like anything that was organic, probably not. It's all pills, chemicals, that kind of stuff, because those are man-made, manufactured kind of stuff.
So a thought I just had, which a question we haven't really asked, which we probably should ask, which is like from my books. When I read my stories, they always, you always want to know when, where, what, why, So the guy who got stabbed in the chest, what was his name? Did we ever ask?
No.
Can I go back and ask?
Sure.
Yeah, we looked at the reports, right?
Yeah. His name was Carlos Martinez.
So the trick is, A, where did the infection come from and why did it happen? And why Carlos? I'm curious if Carlos was in the mine recently or like if he knew these three, like that interaction, because why him, why then? If this is, it almost seems targeted or was just a random act, I don't know, but we can't not think about that, you know? So let's just keep that in mind as we progress. If we have time later, I'm going to swing back by the foreman and just ask about Carlos to see if there's anything special about him. Once again, it could all have just been a random act, but it'd be pretty foolish not to think about that there's a chance it could have been targeted or he was involved in this scheme.
Yeah, sure. Where are you heading now?
Quartermaster.
Neve Mahone.
As you guys are making your way to your quartermaster, there's a couple people walking towards you, just sort of like, grunts, maybe some miners. And can all three of you give me a wits check, please? So you're just rolling whatever your wit score is.
Which is raw wit.
5, not bad. 1 success.
Nothing.
1 success.
Okay. Simon and Weyne, as you are walking, you get this like weird feeling, this sort of like deja vu feeling, and you feel like you've done this before, and it feels strange. It feels like it's just like a nagging feeling in the back of your brain, kind of like when you know you've like walked into a room and you can't remember why you walked in there.
Okay.
Like that happens. Alexis, you see these two people walking, and then there is a splitting pain in your head, and you see them both like judder to either side of the hallway, and they are now bisected by the wall. One guy is halfway through the window at his midsection. You can see his legs frantically dangling and kicking. He's screaming as he's trying to push his way out, but as he pushes, you can see the connection to his leg weaken, so they slide down a little bit, and you can see into his midway, so you can see his intestines, you can see his guts, and that just makes him panic even more. And as he struggles and screams, the person on the other side is like looking down, and he's like, I can feel it, I can feel the wires, and all of a sudden he starts convulsing and jolting. You can see smoke beginning to pour out of his mouth and his ears. Everywhere begins, you can see like the skin beginning to peel and burn from the inside as electricity of the wires that are in the walls are coursing high voltages through his body, and he's shaking and twisting. You can smell flesh and hair burning. And then they snap back into the center of the room. Please take a level of stress.
God.
Yeah, I will take a stress for that. You see Alexis walking down the hallway, and then all of a sudden just like flinch and like almost like jump forward, like a hand out, and all in like a half second, like freeze and like kind of bring the hand back because she wants to help this person, but sees the electricity, doesn't know if she should grab him, and in that like heartbeat of indecision, freezes. And I don't know what you all feel about that, but just this moment of like action and then freezing.
Yeah, you guys see Alexis like do that. You see her like react, but you don't see any of the other thing. You just see these people walking.
Yeah, we felt that jitter though, right?
You felt a weird presence for sure.
Being hyper aware of this, I'm just gonna stop, look towards Simon. I'm just like, you feel that?
No, there's nothing crazy.
It's a jitter, like last night.
Yeah, well, we're just stressed.
I don't get stressed, buddy.
Oh,
did you not fucking see that? Did you not fucking see that?
Alexis, you went pale. What's going on?
Yeah, because they were fucking cut in half and halfway through the fucking wall and being fucking electrocuted.
What? Alexis, you're not making any sense. What do you mean?
Yeah, obviously I saw fucking something like yesterday, Simon. Keep up. I saw something. Hopefully it wasn't fucking real, but I saw it and it was there a second ago.
Alexis. Actually, all three of you see a man walk out of a nearby door. Alexis, you recognize this person almost immediately as the person that you saw last night, even with the like cauliflower
with no
mouth.
bandages.
Yep, but you look at it, you know this is them. By the hair, by the clothes, you know it.
Do I know who they are from the base?
No,
Do we not see? It's not one of the 3 profiles we saw earlier.
it's not.
While I'm kind of getting angry at Simon, I see this, like, grab Simon by the scruff of the neck and, like, pull him in. I go, do you see that fucker?
Yeah, that guy's there.
Yeah, that guy's the fucking guy with the fucking cauliflower and the bandages smashing his own fucking skull last night. Who is he?
Okay. I don't recognize him.
Well, I think he's going to be important.
Yeah, let's play it cool, and I'm going to approach him.
He's got like a white button-down shirt. He has a duffel bag slung over his shoulder. He's got sort of like work pants on and work boots, and he's just walking away from you.
Hey, excuse me.
He turns around and he looks sort of like, at first he ignores you, and then sort of like gives a quick, like, you can see him glance in the reflection of the window beside him, and just kind of like puts his head down and starts walking a little faster.
Oi, mate, hold up a second.
I hate doing this. I'm going to pull rank or command and just be like, I need you to stand down, soldier and or miner.
He, once again, you could see him sort of like tighten the duffel bag. It like reduces the slack so it's a little tighter to his body, and he's ignoring you.
I am Wayne, not wanting to waste any time, is gonna pull out his cryoblaster and try to stun this person.
Okay.
Well,
Yeah.
before Wayne, I see Wayne, what Wayne's about to do. I say, stop in the name of the law, or you're resisting arrest.
Could I also do something while this is all happening?
Yeah, I'm gonna go in like order. So
Yeah.
That's fine. I have a grapnel. I want to like grapnel in front of them down the hallway just to like head them off.
okay. I believe you roll your gear bonus for that, right? Or you get a bonus to mobility, right?
Yeah.
Wayne, you're going to be rolling a ranged attack.
Okay. Yeah.
Simon, what are you attempting to do?
I'm going to try to command before all this happens.
If you're trying to convince him to stop, it's a manipulate.
Oh, manipulate is better, yep. Or we're gonna, 2 bad things are gonna happen to you if you don't listen to me.
Do you want us to roll?
Yes, please. I'm rolling for the opposed manipulate.
Yeah.
I'm not good at range combat, folks. Definitely not good at range combat.
2 successes.
I got 1 success.
Cool.
None.
So the nice thing about manipulate is you've succeeded. However, if someone doesn't want to, they make it very clear in the rules that manipulate is not mind control.
They attack or they bargain.
Yeah, he's going to go hostile, and in this case, it means running, and he's going to start fucking full sprinting. Alexis, you got 2 successes.
I got
Correct?
1 success.
Or a success. Then
Yeah.
you are able to grapnel, you shoot a line in front of him, and you go zipping across. What would you like to do? What's your intention here?
I want to get in front of him and like block him. So I guess grapple him.
Okay, great. Then you're going to go forward. Are you trying to grapple him as you're going by, or just get in front and then try to stop him, like get in his way?
Let's get him. I was gonna get in front and stop him. That's way more fun. I'm just gonna fucking tackle him from behind with this.
All right, you'll need to get me 2 successes on a close combat roll.
I love that and by love I mean I don't love this, because I'm rolling stress now. Because you gave me stress.
Oh, true. Mm-hmm.
You nightmare.
Does that add a dice? But it's a stress dice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It
So
just
can be
adds a
good.
stress dice where if I roll a 1, I start to panic.
Yep.
But it also is an extra dice.
Yeah.
Does it count as a success?
Yeah.
I feel like Alexis has been a little like fish out of water all day. So she's gonna try to show off, but like now this is finally something she can do. Fucking like grapnel, just fly and like try to clothesline this guy. I say, watch this, Simon. Ooh, that is exactly 2 successes.
Hell
Amazing.
yeah.
What does this look like?
I just like I never rolled my panic. Hold on. Fuck, I panic though.
Oh no.
Oh, that takes away a success, doesn't it?
Oh, you roll a 1 on your panic dice?
Yeah.
Oh no.
My 1 fucking panic die or stress die. So I have to roll a 1d6 plus stress. Oh, you know what? Now I'll just roll because I do have to do a panic roll.
Then yes, you're going to be rolling 1d6 plus 1.
Which, unless I hit a 6, I will be good. But now that I've said that, I hit a 1. Okay, so it's a 2. I just keep breathe through it, right?
Yep. You're stable. You keep it together.
There's like a moment as I'm flying through the air and I'm like, usually confident, but everything about this has shaken me. And the last time I felt this way, bad things happened. But I try to keep it together, and I soar through the air, and I grab him by the collar, and I just kind of like slam him down on his friend. And I hold him, and I say, Simon told you to fucking stop.
He looks at you, and he's got these like wild eyes. His eyes are like crazy. But you notice that there's a little bit of like something on the corner of his mouth. And at first you think it's like foam or froth or something from like getting hit that hard.
Fucking cauliflower.
Yeah. And he opens his mouth and he spits in your face.
Can I block?
You're going to have to do an endure check.
Ah, fuck.
Oh no.
Don't punish me for doing a cool thing.
That's the game, baby.
Yeah, everything's a punishment, man. If you think you're getting a reward for being cool, you in the jungle now, baby. You gonna die.
I'm going to flip.
You can push after you roll.
I know I can push, but I can also get a strand. So I'm going to strand it up right now because I'm in this like heartbeat. I'm just thinking Simon's fear earlier. Simon shouldn't be here. If this goes south and Simon dies and it's all because I get fucking spat in the mouth, like I just like that's just me spiraling.
Okay. Both of you tap that strand.
That's 3 successes.
Nice.
I hope it's nice.
If it's not nice, then there was no point in rolling anyway, because you were never gonna.
Oh, wait, sorry. That's 4 successes because one of my strands was a 1.
Yeah, baby.
And strands count on 1s and 6s.
You're right.
Strands, baby.
How do you protect yourself from this spit?
I think the second I see him try to spit, I just slam his face down like to the concrete instead, so that like if he does spit, it's just hitting the ground.
As he spits, it's not the spit that seems to be the problem. There's a small like cough that he does afterwards, and a puff of spores come out of his throat. And you're able to get away in time as you see them slowly, like as they hit the air, they linger for a little bit, but then they begin to like just kind of dissolve and fade away. And he begins like scrambling away as he's trying to like wiggle away from you. He's like going and going and going, and you can hear the clatter of stone in his duffel bag.
I look at Simon, I say, call the commander, and I turn around and I just like flick my hammer out. I'm going to swing it down on the back of this person's skull.
Okay.
Oh, wait. My stress die could save the day because I got no successes so far. Fucking 5. It fails.
Yeah, you try to slam your hammer down, and he rolls away to the side, and he unzips one of the bags, and he grabs a rock out from it, and he is going to try to take a swing at you and just hit you in the fucking face with one of these rocks.
Okay, this I will try to block.
Simon and Weyne, you are welcome to do things. We're not really in initiative right now.
Could we have caught up?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, you're not that far away from each other.
My weapon has a cooldown, so I cannot use it this round. But if this person is not subdued yet, I would maybe either want to knock him out or kill this person.
I'm gonna put my shirt over my mouth before I do anything.
Yeah, true.
Okay.
Yeah. If we see the spit and the spores, I would also. We're gonna have to start wearing masks around here.
I'm gonna draw my gun.
Did you block, Niall? Did you get any successes on your close combat?
That is 0 successes.
No.
You know what? I'm going to push my roll.
Okay.
No little stress, you dirty dog.
Take a stress.
Fucking do it. This is stressful as shit. I'm not gonna be cool with this.
Yeah, you saw what that rock does.
That is 1 success.
With that 1 success, you're able to... How do you block it? He's going right for your fucking, like, temple.
Grab the forearm and just hold it there, like, in front of my face. And I say, get him off me.
Weyne, Simon, what are you doing?
I'm gonna shoot him in the leg.
I guess I don't really have any weapons on me besides my cryo blaster. While that reloads, if I still have my bottle on me, I might bash that over his head.
Yeah.
Honestly, like, perhaps with the intention to kill. I don't think Weyne cares either way, but we'll see how it goes. Yeah. Well, the moment I saw this guy spitting, he lost all sense of mercy.
I have a success on my ranged attack.
Oh yeah, that's 1 success.
What are you shooting him with, Simon?
Oh, my pistol.
Is it lethal?
It's a gun, yeah.
Okay. And you're hitting him with a bottle, Wayne?
This guy's so dead.
if I'm trying to do lethal damage, I may have broken it and then done a stabbing motion instead toward the face.
Okay. Yeah. Hell yeah. What damage is... I'm going to say yours is light, Wayne.
Mine is also light, I believe.
Yeah? I mean, that's enough to... This
Still
guy
so much damage.
Yeah. This guy is dead. You've killed him. He hits the ground hard.
Okay.
And doesn't move.
Don't breathe in. Don't breathe in. Back up.
No, everyone back up. A barricade. I'm going to roll a command. Anyone in the nearby area, I'm going to say evacuate. I don't know if we have badges or ranks on our arms. Like, I'm just going to make it be known who we are.
People know who I am.
Wayne actually takes a second to back up as the broken glass bottle is like still in, I guess, lodged in the head. He like kind of takes a second before he backs up. And he thinks for a moment back to when the commander said something about, in order for us to fight these horrors, we have to stay alive. And we had just killed somebody. So for a flicker of a moment, I like feel that mortality kick in, that thought of it. And then I come to, and then I step back.
You are standing there, and you're clearing the area, and people are starting to move away. And blood is beginning to pool out of the gunshot wound and the stab wound from the bottle. It wasn't a clean kill by any means. There's quite a bit of blood splattered up on the window looking out at the rock. Blood is beginning to pool. And as it does, you begin seeing small mushrooms growing out of the blood. Slightly larger ones towards the center, the thicker part of where most of the blood is, but smaller around the edges, and it almost builds like a dam around the blood. So it stops growing, but this sort of like patch of mushrooms grows. And then you see something very familiar, Alexis. You see the bubbling of the skin in the chest, and then the neck. And then you see that cauliflower growth dislocate the jaw, pop a couple teeth out, and make room in this man's mouth. And then he stands up, slowly. But this time it's not human. It's not normal. There's a rigidness to it. There's a snapping of joints. There's a jerkiness to the motions. And it looks out towards the rock, looks at the three of you, and begins shambling away. Each drop of blood from the wounds, another little mushroom appears.
Can I hit it with my hammer?
Yeah.
Don't get too close.
I'm going to try to stun it again with my cryo blaster.
What building are we in, Dane?
You're in, so the crater is like one big round facility.
Okay, so we can't burn down this building.
No. I mean, you could.
Okay. I have 2 successes, but 2 1s on my panic dice.
Oh, no.
Oh, God.
What?
That's 2 separate panic rolls.
No, it's only if I roll more panic than I roll. Oh, no, that's stability. Yeah.
Yep.
Yikes.
Cool. First one's good. Second one's good.
Okay.
It's 2 successes.
How dare you put frickin' zombies in my mech game, Dane, you son of a bitch.
Wait, I thought this was mechs.
The first success is going to be a hit for 5 damage.
Where are you hitting it? And how are you hitting it?
I'm hitting it from the side, low in the torso. My second success is I am hitting it so hard, I'm going to send it into the wall to do an extra 2 damage with my knockback feat.
Great. You do that. You hit it. It crumples. The hip, you see it just shatter. It slams into the wall. And once again, there's a spray of blood. Those mushrooms pop up. And it stands back up and keeps shambling. This time again, it looks to the rock and then turns down the hall and keeps going.
Do the people around us seem to be reacting? Like, can we tell if they see this, what we're seeing?
You've cleared the area. Everyone, you just shot a dude. Everyone has kind of scattered.
Okay.
So no one has seen this situation happening right now.
Okay, are we... Doesn't happen to be an incinerator nearby, does there, Dane? You gotta get rid of garbage in the wasteland somewhere.
Simon, we've got to stop this thing.
We need to... It's organic, so we need to melt it, eradicate it. Like, is there a knowledge check in this game? I don't... What kills mushrooms? Is there like...
Science, I think, right?
Is there a
Isn't there a
science
science roll?
Roll science.
Okay, I'm gonna raw roll science too.
I'm going to give you the help action, Simon. I believe you get +2. Oh, +1, sorry.
Chris, did you get anything?
Yeah, I'm gonna shoot the cryo blaster.
Did you get any in your science? No?
Science. Let's see. I think that's 6. That's not bad. Yeah, that's 1 success. That's so many dice. I only get 1 success.
What are you trying to figure out?
What's the easiest way to kill a mushroom? Is it salt? Is it what can we use to deal with fungus? Is there any CLR mildew spray around that I can use?
So mushrooms are an incredibly resilient species. Like, they need specific circumstances to grow, and it seems like the human body for this particularly strain of mushroom is the perfect situation. Every time you've done damage, you see there's like a bloom of growth from the gunshot wound where the hip has been crumpled. You see that it's like filling in the bone and the gap. It seems to just sort of be constantly replacing and repairing. As you guys are figuring this out and watching it and kind of studying it and cluing into this, it once again turns to face the rock, turns towards the wall adjacent to it, puts its hands on the wall, and then walks through it.
What?
I grab my radio and I'm like, we need the biggest gun we've got between the facility and the rock. This thing's making for it, and I don't think we want it to get there.
Don't approach it. Don't breathe in ventilators.
It's going the opposite direction. It's not going towards the rock. It's going through the wall adjacent to it.
Okay, I yell that, and I start to dash towards my automata.
Well, as soon as it gets into the city, can we laser blast it?
That's an option, yes.
Yeah, call up Cedric.
Can I don't know if this is work. Is there a fire extinguisher nearby?
Sure.
I'm going to assume the chemical concoction in a fire extinguisher can kill some mushrooms, so I just want to blast the blood and spores that are already in this hallway. I'm gonna roll another science. That's a success. I don't know if do I actually Google, does a fire extinguisher kill mushrooms?
Hey, this is a scary space mushroom, so yeah, I'm gonna say that you've effectively killed the composition in which these mushrooms need to live. They're not going to grow anymore. They've grown as much as they are, and you've rendered them inert. So I'll allow that. Yeah, for sure. As you guys are sort of like dealing with this, Alexis, as you're getting ready to go to your automata, you hear an alarm go off. Then you hear an alarm further in towards the rock as the struts holding it up begin rattling and shaking, and you see debris falling off the meteor, and then it lifts up, breaking the struts that are holding it, and it begins to ascend skyward, ripping the struts, tearing holes in the 4 corners in which the crater is holding the meteor. It just begins heading up, it stops, and then it comes plummeting down. And you feel this earthquake that rattles through the entire crater. And then at the very top, you see a crack and a bright light emit from the crack at the top of the meteor. And then another, and another, and another, as light begins shining out of it. And then it begins peeling away. Chunks falling. All of it begins cracking like an egg.
The egg theory.
Egg theory confirmed.
A pillar of light emits and stands in the center of where this meteor used to be. Shattered, crumbled rock lay all around inside the crater, and a bright yellow pillar stands in the center. And then you hear a door open beside you, and a person runs out full speed and smashes through the window. And you see them tumbling down into the crater. And then you hear a door further down and another person out. And then you start seeing people all over the crater in this full semicircle beginning to smash through these window and all roll and tumble down towards this beam of light. And finally, a single person gets to the edge again. You see them running, and they halt, they stop, and they turn to look at the 3 of you, and they say, "The garden must be tended, and we will be its tenders." And it puts its hands on the glass, shredding its hands into ribbons, and throws itself out the window. A green verdance begins spreading out. All these people get washed over with a green moss, and what was once a desolate, rocky, sandy crater is now a meadow of grass with moss-covered people all throughout it. And then you hear the blaring of trumpets.